Hello guys, Alex here and welcome to Chelsea's W6 for my preview of the FA Cup final featuring Chelsea and Manchester United this Saturday at Wembley Stadium. Now I think we can all agree that this game is very important for both sides. As you all remember, we finished in the fifth in the league, so basically we didn't get to win the Premier League again like we did last season. And we're also outside of the top four, which is even more of a disappointment. But yeah, we were knocked out of the League Cup semi-final by Arsenal. The away leg, I think, was more of an impact. And we also knocked out by Barcelona in the round of 16, which again, away fixture was also an impact. As for Manchester United, they finished second in the league. Of course, that means they didn't win it. They were knocked out, actually, in the quarterfinals of the Carabao Cup by Bristol City, which was kind of surprising. And not only that, they were knocked out by Sevilla in the round of 16 of the Champions League. Wow. Look, to be honest, it may have not been great for both teams, but I think more for Chelsea because Antonio Conte's position is really under threat here, and with the rumors circulating that there's going to be a new manager next season, if that happens, I think Antonio Conte will really want to leave on the highs and possibly win his first ever cup competition. Now, I want to go over some stats of both teams with you guys. Now, in all competitions, in the last 10 games, Chelsea have won 6, drawn 2 and lost 2. Man United have won 7, drawn 1 and lost 2. And in terms of the league, as we all know, Chelsea finished 5th with 70 points. Man U finished 2nd with 81 points. Man U surprisingly has a goal difference of 40 goals. As for Chelsea, they have 24. In the last game, Newcastle beat Chelsea 3-0. Watford lost to Man United 1-0. And I think, to be honest, this could be a bit more problematic for Chelsea. The last FA Cup game, as we all know, Chelsea won 2-0 against Southampton in the semi-final and Man U won 2-1 against Tottenham. In all of those aspects, it seems to show that Man United are really the favourites. But I think in that concept, when you think about it, Arsenal were not the favourites to win the FA Cup last season, but they did win it. So I wouldn't write off Chelsea just yet, but we will see. Not only that, in the last 3 FA Cup meetings between Chelsea and Manchester United, we've won all of them. The FA Cup final back in May 2007, we won on after extra time 1-0, where Didier Drogba did a chip in midair over Edwin van der Sar. In March to April of 2013, in the 6th round of the FA Cup, the first part was a 2-2 draw away. We basically had to do a replay and we won 1-0. And then last season, in March, in the quarterfinals, we won 1-0 at home against Manchester United. Not only that, we have not lost in the FA Cup against Manchester United since 1999, which, look, to be honest, doesn't really mean much because we've had a lot of records broken. As for Conte and Mourinho, well, when Conte managed Chelsea and Mourinho managed Manchester United, Conte has won all his home games, Mourinho has won all his home games. And since this is a home game for Chelsea, I mean, of course, written as Chelsea versus Manchester United, could it be that Chelsea actually win this game? Maybe. I mean, the odds are maybe slightly in our favour. Now, in terms of the top scorers for Manchester United, in all competitions, it's Romelu Lukaku. He has scored 26 goals in all competitions and had 9 assists. And in the FA Cup, he is the 3rd leading goal scorer with 5 goals and 2 assists. As for Chelsea, surprisingly enough, Eden Hazard is the one leading it with 16 goals. And another surprising one is that in second place, it's Alvaro Morata with 15 goals. It's pretty much one goal every 182 minutes. Now, as to my views on Morata, I think I can air that at a different stage. But I would love to come back to that, maybe after the FA Cup. Alright, so I mean, in terms of the Man United setup, I think for this game, we could see something like a 4-3-3 or 4-1-4-1, depending on whether Mourinho decides to go more attacking or more defensive.
Now to my prediction of Chelsea's starting 11. In goal, Thibaut Courtois. A back three of Cesar Azpilicueta as captain, Andreas Christensen and Antonio Rudiger. A midfield three of Ross Barkley, N'Golo Kante and Tiémoué Bakayoko. Two wing-backs being Victor Moses and Emerson Palmieri. And finally, two strikers being Olivier Giroud and Alvaro Morata. And as for the substitutes, I would have Willy Caballero, Gary Cahill, Cesc Fabregas, Marcos Alonso, Dujon Sterling, Willian, and Eden Hazard.
Now, of course, you've all seen my predicted lineup, and I think some of you might be like, okay, why are you going this route? But I'm going to cover it with you guys. I think the reason why I chose Courtois over Caballero is because Courtois has more experience dealing with the top six teams, and I think having an experienced goalkeeper who does pretty well against those sides is very needed. Is needed. And you know what? If it goes to penalties, at worst, before it actually goes there, we could summon Caballero and he can possibly save us. As for why I think Christensen is better than Cahill, I think Cahill doesn't deal well with the pressure of the likes of Lukaku, of Sanchez, of Lingard. You know, the fact of having physical contacts with them or basically having to deal with their speed could be a problem, and possibly even their pressure. So yeah, I think Christensen can deal with those factors maybe better than Cahill, so I would go for Christensen instead. As for whether I should choose Emerson and Alonso, I did choose Emerson and put Alonso on the bench. You know, even though Alonso could be better against top six teams, we need to see what Emerson can do against those sides. And I don't think we have seen a lot of him. And, you know, if Alonso gets sold in the summer and we'll find a replacement that's maybe not as experienced, we're going to have to rely on Emerson anyway. We're going to have to see what he can do. And I think he is a little bit of a wild card, but we should try at least. Now, as to why I think Barkley should play over Fabregas and Fabregas should be on the bench, to me, Barkley played well against Newcastle. And he has shown that he has more pace and more strength compared to Fabregas and has a similar technical ability. So I'm not quite sure if he is kind of like the heir to Cesc Fabregas, but I think he has the potential to be. And in these type of games, I think Barkley should be given a little bit more of a chance. And if things don't go as planned, then maybe sub Fabregas on just in case. As for why I put Dujon Sterling on the bench instead of Zappacosta, I think, look, this guy's really shined in the under-18s, you know, and I think it would be sad for us not to put a youngster from the youth into that area, especially when you have a youngster who has proven himself to be better than the likes of Zappacosta. So yeah, I think that's why he gets the nod for me. Now, the last main topic I think through here is why on earth would you put Hazard on the bench? Look, given the fact that I went for a 3-5-2, the first thing is, we've seen this season that Hazard cannot play in a 3-5-1-1. He cannot play at cam. Even though I would hope he can, he just can't. Not only that, he hasn't played well this season. Let's be honest, he has not played well. And he has turned more and more into an impact sub. You know, you see him when he comes off the bench. He actually produces pretty well. But, you know, when he's actually playing the full 90 minutes pretty much, there is always one half where he's basically worse than the other. So yeah, to me, I think he's better off on the bench, guys. But yeah, guys, that pretty much wraps it up. Please leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it. Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. Subscribe to Chelsea's W6, we massively appreciate it. And press that bell notification button, as I said multiple times. Hopefully, you know, it will work and you will get to see more uploads than you usually tend to do in your notifications tab. I will see you guys later.
Hi, it's Colin Pates here, ex-Chelsea 400 games. Don't forget to subscribe to Chelsea SW6.